My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review of The Legend of Korra Season 3, and this review will have spoilers. Now, this is a show I've been enjoying very much, and I think this season does a great job following up on Season 2. There are spirits in the real world now, and there's consequences of that. And Korra lost her ability to connect with past avatars, and that's still the case here. So I felt the continuation was done very effectively, but all of a sudden, people just are randomly turning into airbenders. Boomy turns into an airbender, and they decide to find them all and to train them and to restart the Air Nation. Then you've also got an element where the Earth Queen is kidnapping them and they have to go rescue them from her. Then you've got this new character Kai, who you're not sure if you can trust entirely. Then they go to Lin's sister place to talk to the sister's daughter, and we find out about drama between the two sisters. And then there's a section where Bolin and Mako meet their family for the first time. And it's also focusing on these villains who just escaped prison and are now after Korra. So I'm going to be honest, the first half of this season, as entertaining as it was, and I still liked it, I wasn't the biggest fan of. It felt very segmented, it felt random. There's one episode where we almost don't see Korra at all. And I'm just like, man, like it feels like it's about this and then this and this. And I don't know, it didn't feel like a cohesive package altogether. But then we get to the second half of this season, and that's where I felt like it really delivered. Like there's a point where the villains almost successfully kidnap Korra, and they're stopped. And from that point on, I loved this season. Just the way everything came together felt very satisfying to me. And like it is just non-stop action-packed thrill ride. The action in this season is absolutely phenomenal. It manages to be thrilling, intense, and it feels big in scope. And I love how the stakes feel real. You know, they kill the Earth Queen at a certain point, and the Earth City just erupts in chaos, and you feel the weight of it. And in the last episode, they're trying to get rid of the Avatar forever by poisoning Korra, and as she fights them off and is fighting the poison, I was on the edge of my seat. It was a very nail-biting finale that was just really fantastic. And man, there's one moment where Korra finds the he in the spirit world and he tells her everything. It's a big villain reveals his plan moment, but it's also very smartly written because he keeps her there to distract her so they can kidnap her physical body. So there's purpose to it as well. So I thought that was very well written. And I also loved the world building here. The lava bending was such a great new addition, but I love the setup and payoff for Mako. Like the entire season, he's trying to metal bend and he can't and he can't and he keeps trying. And then at the end, when they really need him to, he lava bends. And I was just like, that is good payoff. I also like how he sees a heel after his girlfriend dies, how he lets go of all earthly pleasures and he's able to fly. I thought that was a great addition to the airbending. I liked how metal bending is becoming more and more prominent, especially as they have to use it to get the mercury-like poison out of Korra. I love that. And there's also an aspect of this season that kind of reminded me of Dune, but yes. So the story started off a bit rough, a bit segmented, but it really came together in the end for some real emotion, real stakes. It has weight, it's thrilling, it's tense. So I really liked the story, and the characters I thought were handled very well. Korra was very likable here, much better than last season. I thought Bolin was really good, and I'm glad they didn't have some stupid love triangle this time. They've evolved past that, and I'm glad. Mako, he's hilarious. He cracks me up so many times, and he's very well written as well. Asami, I think, does a very good job. Varric is hilarious. When we see him again, I'm just like, oh my goodness, so much personality. Love it. Lynn, I think, has a lot more to do this season as we see her come to terms with her past, and I thought that was really well done. And then we've got Lynn's sister, Soul, I believe is her name, and I thought she was a great addition. We also got her daughter, who was a good addition and a new love interest for Mako. We've got Tenzin, who, for one episode, I thought they were kind of making him an idiot, but man, he really came to his own when he fights off against the heel and the rest of the villains. Like, that fight is excellent. Then you've got Kai, who's a new character. He starts off as a thief, but starts to prove himself, and I thought he was a great new addition. You've got Genoa, who continues to prove herself time and time again. Bumi, who I like, he can be a bit annoying as a comedic relief, but I don't think it's too much. Zuko's in this season. I wish there was a bit more weight to when we first saw him, but I thought he was good. It's nice to hear about him and Aang's friendship that lasted decades. And then we get to the villains, starting off with Sahil, who I thought was great. I loved how he explained to Korra that she's on the right page by opening the spirit world up, but how they want to get rid of order entirely, how they want to get rid of all governments and anyone being above the citizens, because he believes chaos is natural order. And like, if I watched this show like a decade ago, I wouldn't care about his motivation. But now I think it's actually really complex and has a level of depth to him, making him for a very well-written villain. And I like how powerful the villains are. You've got the girl with no arms, but she uses water, who was a real threat. The lava bender, who was really great. The girl with the eye in the forehead, like the dude from Avatar: The Last Airbender, who was a real threat, and Zahir, who mastered airbending remarkably fast, but they were a constant threat. Whenever characters fought them, you feared for their lives. And the animation is great here. Like I said, the action's great, and just the ways the camera moves during some of the big action sequences was really impressive, and I love how this season ends. Like, yeah, Korra doesn't die, but man, she's not doing all too well, so I love that. So even though it gets off to a bit of a rocky start with lots of plot lines that don't feel connected, and even though I would have liked an explanation behind the sudden rise in airbending, I know it's kinda to do with the spirit world or whatever, but I wish they leaned into that a bit more. I still got enough entertainment from the first half, and the second half is excellent. It's thrilling, it's tense, it's action-packed, it's got emotional weight, it's got some great, well-written characters. I really enjoyed this season, so I'll give The Legend of Korra Season 3 a 7.5 out of 10. Okay, have you seen The Legend of Korra Season 3? What did you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned for more videos soon, and Gavin out.